Hello, happy Friday, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Freight, the weekly freight and transportation management series brought to you by Surcharges, the friendly transportation management company. Each week, we look to bring you tips, thoughts, best practices, and trends around freight and transportation management. We continue our Parcel Talking Freight series today by talking about the rules around dimensional weight and package density. As you know, we're in the middle of our Parcel Talking Freight series, so if you'd like to watch that full playlist, make sure you click on the playlist link in the description of this video. And hey, we want to figure out what kind of content you guys like the most. So if you're loving these parcel videos, make sure you hit that like button. Or if you like any of our other videos, hit the like button as well. That's an indication to us on the kind of content you want to keep seeing. Because folks, we want to make you happy. That's why we're here. So, parcel dimensional weight and pricing have become standard in the shipping industry, but many shippers continue to fret over how dimensional pricing, also known as dim pricing, will impact their bottom lines. To the untrained eye, dim pricing looks like another way for carriers to get more money from shippers, and with carriers changing dim weight factors every few years, the suspicion grows stronger. However, dim pricing is not a fad or something to fear if you know what it means and how to calculate it. So let's look into dim weight and what it means for your company. First, what is parcel dimensional weight? Parcel dimensional weight refers to the calculation of a package's volumized weight, otherwise known as cubic weight. Part of the reason carriers started using it stems from shippers sending low-weight packages in bulky boxes and excess packaging. For carriers, this amounts to lost opportunities and underutilized space during shipping. Therefore, carriers calculate the volume of a shipment and divide it by a parcel dimensional weight factor, which may vary by carrier. The resulting weight is different from a package's actual weight. But why do you need to know its actual weight too? Shippers still need to know a package's actual weight. After calculating the parcel dimensional weight of a shipment, it is compared against a package's actual weight. The higher weight of the two results is the weight the carrier uses when determining shipping costs. For example, a package with an actual weight of 11 pounds and a parcel dimensional weight of 20 pounds will be shipped using the 20-pound weight. So, can companies opt out to bill you differently? Well, carriers have the option of billing you differently for dim weight versus actual weight based on the terms of the agreement or contract you enter. But new shippers to the carriers are not likely to have access to these benefits. This is why more shippers are looking to carriers as a partner, not just an afterthought or an expense. If a shipper wants to avoid dim weight, he or she should express those views during contract negotiation. Even if the carrier refuses, at least the shipper had the opportunity to ask and make his views known. But dim weight brings up another problem. What happens if a package is odd-shaped or very long? So let's talk about packages that have odd shapes. Packages with odd shapes still require the volume calculation. Volume is calculated with this formula. Length times width times height equals volume. It's almost like being back in physics class. Don't you love it? Maybe not. Depending on the carrier, items shipped in cylinder-like packages may be calculated using a slight variation that requires a square-like assumption of the package. For example, a cylinder with a diameter of 10 inches would replace both the width and height in the equation. The length remains the same. For example, 10 inches times length, using 10 in this example, would produce a result of 1,000. Now, stick with me, more math. Dividing 1,000 by the dim weight factor of 138.4 results in a dim weight of 7.23 pounds. Hope you used your calculator. I pre-calculated it and sort of cheated. But anyway, all dim weights are rounded up to the nearest pound. So the dim weight is 8 pounds. However, this may seem incorrect as the volume of cylinder is traditionally calculated by multiplying the circle's end area by the length. As of today, neither UPS nor DHL calculate the dim weight of cylinder-like packages with this mathematical formula. The diameter of the cylinder is used in place of both height and width, but why do carriers not use the traditional formula for calculating volume of cylinders? Well, consider this example. The formula for calculating area of circle traditionally is as follows: pi r squared times length. Rather than trying to remember the decimal number of pi, 3.14 with a billion other numbers, here is the formula broken into steps. Diameter divided by 2 equals radius, or small r. Radius times radius equals r squared. Pi equals 22 divided by 7. Radius squared times 22 divided by 7. That's simple. So let's plug in a package with a 10-inch diameter and a 10-inch length. So therefore we get 10 divided by 2, which equals 5. Remember radius times radius, so 5 times 5 equals 25. Now we're going to do that times pi. 25 times 22 divided by 7 equals 78.5714, or also known as the area of the cylinder at one end. So to get to cubic inches, 78.5714 times 10 equals 785.714 cubic inches. Remember, when you multiply by 10, you just move the decimal over to the right. Learned that in 2nd grade. Now, divide the cubic inches, we're not done with math yet, by the dim weight factor of 138.4. Therefore, we have 785.714 divided by 138.4, which equals 5.677 pounds. Now, the formula most commonly used would have 10 inches for the width, 10 inches for the height, and 10 inches for the length. So, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1,000 cubic inches. If we take the cubic inches in that way of doing the formula, that's 1,000 divided by the weight of 138.4, which equals the dim of 7.225. Rounding 7.225 up results in a dim weight of 8. So using the width times height times length calculation for odd-shaped packages would have a higher result of 7.22. So the standard calculation package's dim weight is 8 pounds, not 6 pounds. A lot of math, but it's important you get it right so you don't spend much more money or have issues when auditing your parcel invoices. Now, you also need to know your carrier's dim weight factor. Another thing shippers need to know in dim weight factor for every carrier. For UPS, DHL, and FedEx, the dim weight factor for domestic or ground shipments is 138.4, reflecting a decrease that took effect at the start of 2017. International and air shipments use 166 as the dim weight factor. Using the 10-inch example again, the result would be slightly less for air or international shipments. Again, 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000 cubic inches. 1,000 divided by the dim factor of 166 on air and international equals 6.02. And when we round 6.02 up, the dim weight for air and international is 7 pounds. So, what else do I need to consider? Well, packages using dim weight may be subject to a surcharge if any dimension exceeds a certain length. For example, a package's height plus its width exceeds a set length. UPS considers all sides as well. So, double the length and double the width first. Add them together. If the total is more than 129.921 inches, it is subject to a minimum weight charge of 89 pounds. Let's look at a very quick example. So, 2 times 10, which is the width, equals 20. 2 times 10, the height, equals 20 again. Add those together. 20 plus 20 equals 40 inches. Since 40 inches is less than 129.921 inches, it is not subject to this rule. But a package with a larger height, like 60 inches, is. So let's do that math. Width of 10 inches, so 2 times 10 equals 20. Height of 60, as we said, 2 times 60 equals 120. So adding 120 plus 20 equals 140 inches. Clearly this is higher than the 129.921. So the billable for this is automatically has an 80-pound minimum. Again, parcel is a lot of math. In closing, figuring out your shipment's dim weight can be confusing, and do not be afraid to use your calculator to figure it out. By understanding dim weight and breaking it down, you can change your packaging practices to avoid extensive surcharges and reduce your shipping costs. If you still do not understand, most carriers have a dim pricing calculator available online. Play with it, check it out, and you will see how dim weight changes with changing dimensions. That's it for this week's Talking Freight. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Oh, hold up, before you go, make sure you click over here to subscribe to our channel, click on this box to watch all the videos in the current Parcel Talking Freight series, and click up here to go to Cerasis.com. Scroll down, and in the box, put in your email address and hit subscribe.